This was me, Singaporean son, a couple of weeks ago, taking a photo in green. A few weeks after that, I would graduate my basic military training through the passing out parade and return home for 1 week of uninterrupted civilian life. And so, this is me now. Hello past and future Damien, it has been 3 quarters into the new year since we left off, and what a year it has been. What an interesting year. For me, the new year actually began somewhere in December after coming back from the UK, and one of the first things that I did was buy a copy of GTA 5 because it was on sale.
Oh, that's a heavy door.
I can't really say much about GTA except, well, I've put in about 700 hours since then, so make of that what you will. But of course, a 5-year port of a 7-year-old game isn't the highlight of 2020 for most people. In fact, it is something on the opposite side of the spectrum of fun. Yes, of course, we're talking about coronavirus. But everyone already has their own COVID story, so let's just skip that until it becomes relevant. So what has my 2020 been like? Well, in January, it began with a lot of pasta making. For some reason, I have a thing where I bring over friends, we make pasta, or at least try to make pasta to the best of our abilities.
That's not the sound of a nice boil over. That's the sound of my sausage getting incendiary grenade.
And just try not to get food poisoning. And as I mentioned before, I just got GTA at the point of time, so when I wasn't playing GTA, I was online researching all the things that I needed to know about GTA, all the DLCs, all the intricacies, all the systems, everything that I needed to know to progress and have fun, I guess. GTA Online is a really weird business simulator of sorts.
Business is good and business is bad. Now that's a problem.
You kind of keep growing and growing and progressing, and there isn't really like an end in sight. It's just a constant grind of stuff, just like real life. But at least something that makes the grinding easier and more fun is the presence of some friends who I totally did not persuade to get GTA with me.
So, Mr. Crest said you might be able to help me out with something. Me, so that's clear. You're going to be helping. I am not
I got everything right except for
bystander doing a favor.
As we moved on over into February and things started to get more closer to home, that was also when our internship began ending. Because of the UK trip that I spent 2 weeks overseas, I had to extend my internship by another 2 weeks, so I was left alone in the office as my 2 fellow interns signed out for the last time.
Just the thought of not eating this again, like for lunchtime at work, it sends me.
But eventually those 2 weeks passed, and at the end of my last week on the Wednesday, we went back to school to have our internship presentation and possibly see each other's faces for the last time in real life for a very long time.
Penis. Till internship, then you get a job for another 6 months.
So we were finally free. Sort of. And as you know, as a Singaporean son, we all must serve our country eventually. So I guess you could say that my freedom was time limited. However, with said time available and not wanting my day-to-day to be just playing video games and nothing else, but also with Point and Shoot 2020 being delayed until August, some of us decided to make our own Point and Shoot. And so began about a month-long series of discussing what we wanted to do, what kind of theme we wanted to have, and eventually writing out our own script based around the theme that we decided. It's definitely a different kind of experience. We did location scouts and we did our final pre-production, and eventually we went out and shot it and edited it. But as our production cycle came closer to the end, coming towards the start of April, everything just started shutting down because there's a magical thing called circuit breaker. Have you heard of it before? I certainly have. Have you? And so all of us being at home and graduation party probably not going to be a thing, we had our own DTVM Zoom grad party. Oh boy. It is happening. Hot diggity damn. It was janky. It was very unusual.
This is gonna be a real life Scriblio game. The catch is only Julianne will be drawing everything. DM Caitlin on WhatsApp. Not to everyone, you DM me. Everyone can see, everyone knows the answer now. Everyone wins. Everyone knows your answer. Stop.
But it was the best that I believe that we could do given the circumstances that we had.
So we're gonna choose and put down who you think has the best fancy hat.
Oh my god! Oh my goodness! Do you see that? This is actually kind of wholesome. Instead of any kind of physical collaboration basically being thrown out the window, the next closest thing that I could do was revive an old project of mine.
Oh shit, you got me! Oh shit, you got me!
We renamed it, we rebranded it, we thought of new mechanics, and we spent a lot of time polishing and building. And like most of the projects that I've embarked on, eventually we kind of dropped it. But it was really fun just getting back into it and like doing things and like seeing all the cool stuff that we can make. That was what felt so fulfilling about doing this thing, and is what kept us going. As things moved into the month of May and my friends and I mostly achieved the things that we wanted to do in GTA, we hopped onto a different game. A game that I've talked about before briefly, which is called Apex Legends. And yes, I'm far from the best, I don't invest heavily into the competitive aspect of it, but hell, it is fun when it works. It's fun when you get into the flow, it's fun when you do well.
We are the other squad! Now what? Can I help you, by the way?
I need to get back in.
And I should also mention that I was supposed to enlist in May, but because of everything that was going on in the world, that sort of got delayed to the start of June. And speaking of which, towards the start of June, before that fated day became a reality, my friends and I, we embarked on one of the most difficult challenges that you could ever attempt in GTA, which is called the Criminal Mastermind Challenge, where 4 of us freaking lunatics basically completed a series of 5 scripted heists, all in order with the same people and without dying once. Spoiler alert, we did die once, at least once.
Oh god.
Oh no, pull it. Put the plug. What the freak?
Dang it.
But 2 days before that fated booking day, we finished it.
Alright, cool. We got this.
We did it!
Oh! Wow. In fucking underwear.
Beautiful, perfect. Seriously, in SAF.
Yeah.
SAF.
And after that booking, I did. So what's life after entering national service been? Well, it's been sort of like living 2 lives at once, basically, as my friend would describe it. Army life is one thing, and your civilian life is another much more precious and treasured thing. But to keep myself sane, the best thing I could do was pretty much do my best, and that will become relevant. So in the last 3 months over the course of BMT, some highlights included playing The Last of Us Part 2 when it came out, going to the E-Mart for the first time with my section mate, going through field camp and then coming home and celebrating after that, going exercising to chase after that IPPT goal, which yes, after 5.5 attempts, finally got it, going out again with more section mates, and finally, at long last, after about how many weeks, I don't even keep track, came to the day when we had our passing out parade, and we booked out, we left that godforsaken island called Tekong as recruits for the last time.
Hello.
Hello. Oh yeah, and somewhere along the way I got to know this person pretty well. So what's going to happen after this? Well, about 47 minutes ago I got my posting, and what does this mean? Yeah. In the famous words of Adam Jensen,
I never asked for this.
but as I said, the best thing I can do to keep myself sane is to do my best, and do my best I will. So we'll see how things turn out in 9 months' time, and I will see you next time. Whenever next time may be. Oh yes. Luck.